this is the house. As you can see it's a very simple structure. It's basically a timber frame, and then the walls are infilled with cordwood and with straw bales. And it's sitting on car tyres, which you can probably see around the side there, but the car tyres aren't fixed to the ground, neither is the house fixed to the car tyres. The frame was up, the walls were in, the windows were in, doors and the roof on in 4 days. This is the interior of the house, which, as you can see, is one open space. There's no divisions in here at all. That will allow the heat to circulate all the way around. There'll be no divisions at all. And I mean, what you've got really is a box, and then you can infill it whatever you want. So this is the sitting room area. There's actually 14 windows in the house, so you've got plenty of passive solar heating, which is good. And yes, sitting room, there's a bottle wall on the inside. I think you can probably see the shape of the tree in it. A simple way of doing a window. You simply get a double glazed window, you set it in a hole, you put pieces of batten around it so it's as cheap as it can be, you lift the batten at the side and the window drops forward. Job done. There's no catches, there's no hinges, there's no nothing. I mean, it's as easy as it can be, and it's totally secure. And the idea was that the cats wouldn't be able to get in, but the cats can, because they work it out, because they're not stupid. They scoodle up there, they hang 2 feet over, they shimmy the rest of their body up, and then they're in. And that's it. Bathroom. That's the only mains I've got is water, yes. I have got a spring-fed stream, so I mean, if anything happened to the mains water, and if, say, in years to come, if we don't have electricity or if the water is polluted in any way, I can take water out of the stream. Water wheel. It's not going as fast as normal because we haven't had any rain for a month, and even though it's not a lot of power, it is constant 24 hours a day. So it's not producing a vast amount, but you've got the continuation. And between the three, by the time you've got solar and you've got wind and you've got the water wheel as well, then you've got everything. You've got 3 different types of alternative power. So if one falls down, you know the other 2 are going to work.
We're here at Crascombe Farm on our first solar installation. Duncan has invited us onto his premises to install an off-grid solar solution for his failing power consumption around the farm. So what we've done is we've took 120 foot of his barn complex off the national grid and provided him with his own power supply. Brilliant. What I'm trying to do is to open up an energy source that I've been using for 16 years to everybody. You know, not just people who think it's keen to be green, or people that think it's like, you know, it's the hip thing to be green. Let's do it because it's, you know, it is the way forward anyway, you know. We can save ourselves thousands of, I don't know what the percentage of carbon we're going to save off this, you know, off the first third of Duncan's installation. We haven't worked that out yet, but I know it's going to be big.
We moved here just under a year ago, and the garden was a bit like the Lost Gardens of Heligan, except this was Lost Gardens of Froome. And you can see down here just a bit of old concrete path. When we moved here, we couldn't even see that. It's completely covered over and overgrown with brambles, and the whole place was really just a bit of a mess. But we chose this particular house because it has a really large garden, and we think that with increasing food prices, we're actually going to need to be able to grow more of our own food. And this whole plot is about 1/10 of an acre. It's a relatively small house, just a couple of us living here. We've got an 8-month-old son, and our goal is in this garden to be able to grow as much of our own food as possible.
We use the principles of companion planting, so we knew that cucumbers did well against sunflowers, for example. So and I like sunflowers. I just planted them purely because they're beautiful, but also because we like the seeds. And then we thought we'd have some marigold, even though they're dying. They were lovely about a month or so back, they were glorious, but they are really good at deterring pests because they attract things that eat the pests.
This one, as you can see, is full to overflowing. It's bin number 2. I've got another one over there. This is a 700 litre bin. Most people mess around with sort of baby 200 litre jobs you can buy from recyclenow.com for like 10 quid or something, fairly small composter. But if you really go to town and take care to throw out all your cardboard, newspaper stuff, instead of throwing it out for recycling or in the bin, if you stick it in the compost bin, you get fantastic quality compost, but you will need a really large bin to break it down in. So some people get wooden pallets and nail them together. This is a nice way of sorting it out. So yeah, I recommend these. Under this, as you can see, there's straw at the bottom, and this stuff here is wood chip, which I've pissed on for a while before we turned that blue bin into a nappy bin. This was actually, that's okay, let's talk about it. It was used to hold a load of wood chip we got because we had some trees down there cut. They were leylandii, they grow really, really fast. We're shadowing our garden, neighbour grew, we could have them cut, so we did that. And they ran it through a chipping machine, and again we said we want to keep all the materials you get from this operation on site because it's going to be useful to us. And so I stuck that in the blue bin, and every now and again we'll go outside and have a wee on the chips, and they've started to rot really well. And the point is that this material is now starting to turn, it smells fantastic, I won't throw it at you, but it's really starting to turn into soil now. As a nitrogen from your urine. The urine is very rich in nitrogen, mixes up with the carbon from the wood chip, and that creates a perfect condition for the microbes to break down all the sort of cellulose fibres in the wood, and it turns into great soil. So there we go. I just want to show you now the solar PV system which I fitted myself. This is using the output of the 60 watt pair of panels I showed you earlier in the garden to run a laptop, a lamp, and anything else that I care to plug into this small inverter unit. It's obviously a low power system, but it's great, but it means completely off grid. I'm just looking forward to the day when all the power in the neighbourhood goes down and this is the only house with the lights blazing out. Something else I want to show you here, if I switch on a cackle, how much power is that using? And the answer is, the right mode, 2.95 kilowatts, about 3 kilowatts of power. Huge amount of power. If I switch it back off, this device will tell me no kilowatts. So right now my home is using no power to about switch the cackle on, and it's 3 kilowatts of power.
I hope that we can just keep doing things and people gradually will think, oh, that's a good idea, and do it as well. And then bit by bit, postcode by postcode, village by village, town by town, we've got a movement.
I think what we're trying to do is make being green feel normal, you know, rather than this is your life and that's being green. Well, they come here and they talk to people who live with solar panels and wind power and who grow organically and who've driven electric vehicles and done all the kind of things that you're supposed to do if you're green.
We're green, and I suppose we're dark green rather than
Deep
pastel
green. Dark green.
Dark green rather than pastel green.
Me and people like me aren't exploiting the planet. We use the earth, but we replenish the earth at the same time.
Maybe one of the big things of the Green Gathering is for people to come together and to talk and to exchange ideas, which is always good. But if it's just a talking shop, it doesn't get out to the wider community. So I think they can be brave, they can be strong and take some major steps forward in how to be green.
The sunshine is a creator and a destroyer, so let's let it create.